Welcome back to the Olga S Pérez show. I'm your host, Olga. How you doing? Did you guys see I got a special guest? We're ready to go. You guys ready? You ready? You got your stuff together, your popcorn, whatever it takes. Oh my God, I'm so excited. Look at me. Of course, I'm verklempt. Of course, right? Oh my God, I'm so excited. I love, okay, before I even say anything, let's bring him on and introduce him real quick. And we're just going to shoot the shit. Let's see. I think he's amazing. And anyway, we'll tell you all about it if you haven't already looked into it. Okay. Without further ado, please welcome, quite frankly,
Olga. I hope I can live up to the adulation, man. I mean, the adoration is incredible. I don't know let me first compliment you. You emailed me. I said, okay, well, yeah, fine. Yeah, I would love to come on. Let me look into her. I clicked your link. The first video I clicked on was an episode where you clearly had been just doing a show without recording it, and you realized halfway in that you weren't doing anything. I said, I love her, because I cannot tell you how many times I have wasted hours of my life collectively over the years thinking that I was streaming live, thinking that I was recording, and some great material, at least material I thought was good at the time, was gone. And I said, oh, it's such a relatable experience. I fell in love with you instantly.
Wow. Thank you. Holy shit. I just had a friend, I was talking to a friend yesterday, and he told me he watched that episode. He goes, and because he knows me, he's known me for a long time, like since 2007. And he was like, can I just tell you, I watched that video where you weren't recording for a half hour. He goes, man, like I've never seen you in that state. I'm like, his name is Mike. And I'm like, Mike, that's me keeping it together.
I know.
I'm like,
it's the feeling. I don't know what it is. It's a mix of all negative emotions. You have just this despair that is overridden by just this volcanic rage, and it's just so much. And I've learned to kind of breathe through it and channel it a little bit better over the years. But that is so rough. So yeah, I say it was a good introduction. I'm glad I'm here. Good to meet you.
Well, good to meet you too, Frank. So for everybody to know, this is the first time Frank and I are speaking. I emailed him and asked him to be a guest, but we did not speak. And he was like, I'm cool with it. You want to just run with it? You know, I'm crazy like that in caps. And I'm like, I love him even more now. It was so awesome. And you were so professional and so prompt and speedy. I'm just, anyway, do you know that I found Robert Phoenix through the Leo King? He had him on a guest once about a year ago or so. I fell in love with Robert, started following him. And then one day he goes, and I found you. It was one of those where you came up on my feed, and then I must have liked one of your titles, that I was interested in the topic. So I clicked on it, and I'm like, I love this guy. I started following you. But then Robert, on one of his, podcasts, he mentions that he's going to be a guest in your show. I'm like, what? And then, and he loves you. And I'm going, isn't that funny?
Because it's funny that you just you came across one of my videos.
Yeah.
If it was random, I don't know how the hell that happened, because it's very, very hard for me to organically come across people. It's a lot of word of mouth. It's a lot of, working with people like Robert, and suddenly we introduce each other to each other's audience, and there's bleed over and stuff like that.
Right.
But that's just impressive that you had stumbled upon me at some point.
Me too, because I've noticed you kind of shadow banned. Like, I feel like you've been going through this, and that's the other reason why. I mean, there's a couple things, with the whole Tucker Carlson thing going on, the whole I don't care about Don Lemon bullshit, but I pulled up some of the stuff because then the Steven Crowder, and then I wanted to get your input because yesterday on your podcast, or do you call it podcast? Because I think it's like talk show radio, but I don't know if it's also.
I always I look at it as talk talk radio, and I treat it that way. It's always been, that's the way I'm approaching this. That's the way I'm visualizing it all. And then around 2014, 15, when everybody really started doing the podcast thing, I said, okay, you know what? I should at least start making this available in podcast form. So it's just, quite frankly, but I'm not offended if you call it a podcast.
No, I think it's both. I mean, you do the classic like talk radio. I love it. You have a Collins. For everyone viewing this, I put his link. You can look him up. It's pretty easy, quite frankly. But I also put his link and I tagged him in the description below, guys. Check it out. He's got an amazing website with all of it there. And something you mentioned yesterday because of this, I don't know who this person is. Let me play it real quick. I just, because my whole thing is that I feel like I'm constantly bitching about how they're taking my videos down, shadow banning me. You can't figure out what words to say or not say. I tried doing like half hour here, an hour here, and then, hey, everyone, you want to continue watching? I'm on Rumble. So by the way, I don't know if you knew, but I think it's the first time I went live on Twitter. I usually do Twitch, Rumble, and YouTube. And today I said, you know what? I don't know. I'm going to do Twitter. So I'm wondering if we have an audience on Twitter right now. I don't have much of a following.
Well, you know what? Off air, you've got to tell me how the hell you figured that out, because I used to do Periscope all the time, and then once that got all mixed up, I've been trying to figure out how to do that. I'd love to add that back into the mix. So off air, you got to talk about that. But go ahead. You're setting something up.
Well, you have a state-of-the-art setup. I'm like, what the, like... But yeah, I always figure shit out because I'm one of those. That's the other thing. So before 2020, most of the videos I watch either had to do with astrology or like ancient history and stuff like that. That's my big thing. And then anything to do with the occult, esoteric, all kind. I just like the unknown or the unspoken, the untaught, the history, the true history. And so when I started finding all these podcasts, it was during the lockdown, during 2020. And but I didn't find you until maybe a year ago. It was definitely before I found Robert, or around maybe the same time. Maybe that's why you popped up in my feed.
Right.
Because I'm following him. So that was cool. But wait, I'm getting sidetracked. I'm losing my shit again. Oh, so this guy you mentioned here. Anyway, I'm obviously, the point that I was making is that the amount of shit of the same videos that will be taken down from me, the other channels are showing the same stuff. Like one of them was about Project Veritas and the whole Pfizer thing. And they took mine down. But then I'm like, I told YouTube, I'm like, what about all these other people? And you know what I mean? It's like, they're cherry picking who they're fucking with. And I'm like, I'm not even that big yet.
Like, you know, here's the thing. Here's the thing about that. Because I don't really, as I was saying, I think for the last 3 years, especially, this. First of all, I thought it was going to be a good idea to take a call outside in the backyard, have some greenery behind me, and I realized the storm clouds are rolling in, and I don't know what the hell's going on. There's so much fucking wildlife around here lately that I don't know what the last night I came face to face with another damn possum. I can't stand those things. So I don't know. It was a good idea, but from about 2020 to 2022, actually it was 2020 alone. That year alone, I had 11 YouTube strikes. 11. I would get one, it would expire. Then all of a sudden I would get two. I'm on the brink of going away. And one that would expire. One time I actually appealed to, and I got two taken away. So there's another one. I accumulated 11 over one time. And I gotta say, there are some people who are on their radar. We know that the corporate culture in a lot of these big places like Twitch and YouTube are pretty shitty, and they're not very pro free speech or pro liberty in any way, shape, or form. But there is so much automation. You will get a lot of times you'll probably get swept up in some kind of an AI crawler bot kind of a thing. Whenever you do get something removed or blocked, you go to appeal it and you are rejected in literally less than 10 minutes. You know that there's nobody there that is actually going to review your claim. It's all automated. So I have a hard time, at least in my position, taking things personally. It's just, it's an indicator of how there's blanket suppression going on through keywords and anything else that is that I guess could be applied generally to the internet. So that's disconcerting. But That's why I say YouTube is just like a failed miracle. It was no matter where we go to, Rumble, anywhere else, it's great that things have kind of decentralized a bit, and there's a lot more real, legitimate competition that there wasn't even 3 years ago. But at the same time, nobody can say that YouTube is not the most stable, best platform there is. But it's a complete failure because it's been ruined by political zealotry.
Absolutely. Well said. Well, here's the thing. I got a ton of stuff to say, but I know you don't have much time. So just real quick, since I already queued this up, I don't know who this person is. I actually didn't even have the chance to look it up, but I love what you said. And I tell my audience the same thing. And let me play it real quick. It's just a couple of minutes, not even. Hold on. You see it?
Is it BCP?
Yeah, that guy.
I'd also like to make an important announcement on behalf of our good friend BCP, Black Conservative Patriot. YouTube took his whole channel down, his big channel, like nearly 700,000 subscribers, terminated without a warning, and of course his appeal was rejected in like 10 minutes. So that's all gone. You will no longer be able to find BCP on YouTube. I think he's going to be opening up a Rumble, but I spoke with him on the phone today and just went over. I said, what's the URL that you're putting out there that you're working on? And he said therealbcp.com.
And you also mentioned it. I think it's in your description as well, but I didn't look him up. I don't even know who this is. Maybe if I see him, maybe I look it up and I see his face. He'll look familiar.
He's a good friend of mine, and he's done a lot of great work over the years, and he's gotten very popular. And but yeah, he's a very polite man. So I mean, compared to me, he's a saint, which is why I laugh when he gets in touch with me and says, they finally got me and they accused me of bullying or inciting violence. I'm like, he doesn't even curse. It's so, like.
That's what I mean. Like, that's what I keep telling everyone, like, you know how much work this is? And then even if you have very little subscribers like myself so far, after a year and a half of like constantly working, dealing with the strikes, the pull downs, the deletes, all the stuff. And it's like this, they literally, I know it's a private platform, but I'm a businesswoman and trust me, it's not legal. And that's the other reason why I've been having a bone to pick with the Steven Crowder whole thing, right? Where he's like, oh, I stand for free speech. And I'm like, I don't buy this guy. And I didn't dislike him. He wasn't my favorite, but I could see he's got a big following. He's been around for a while and he's talented. I could see he has a lot of talent of imitating people and stuff like that. I think that's cool. He's an entertainer. But when you speak for a certain group of people and then you don't deliver, like, remember I don't know if you watch him at all, but he had this whole, for a while there, he had his like half Asian or part Asian lawyer that were going to sue YouTube. And I'm thinking, free speech is not taken away yet. We're allowing it, all of us. And I just want to get together with a bunch of content creators and really put a powerhouse together, almost like a petition to be like, look, YouTube, you can't do that. If you do that, if you strike somebody out, if you delete their video, pay them like an exit thing. Bullshit. I mean, it's like, who works for free? We do, right? Until we get to a point or until we monetize it, whether it's selling merchandise. By the way, not to do a plug-in, but guys, I got some new t-shirts.
There you go.
I just uploaded the new design today that a guy made for me. It was really cool. But anyway, you know what I mean? We could do as best we can, but we're not here like trying to solicit money. But at the same time, our livelihood depends on it. YouTube doesn't do shit for it. They get all the ad money and then they do whatever they want with you. And if they're the power of everything and they're like the 1% that has all the power, they don't give a shit. If they delete, 20 content creators, they don't give a You know what I mean?
Well, at the same time, you can also say that why would they deliberately shoot themselves in the foot? Because there are so many people. I mean, arguably, people that are talking about things that are on the Steven Crowder end of Tim Pool. I mean, Tim Pool makes them countless millions of dollars.
Yes.
Just one person. Any given night, he's making $10,000 to $20,000 in super chats, and you have Google that takes 30% off the top or more, depending on where you are in the country and what state taxes and regulations are. I mean, it's a lot. They permanently demonetized me on YouTube in April of 2020. I guess I was too
Permanently?
dangerous.
Permanently?
Oh, permanently. They took I've never made money off of views.
Yeah.
Because I use copyrighted music in my broadcasts, and I'd rather have them collect copyrights for the copyright holder and to be able to build atmosphere in my broadcast than, collect a couple of pennies. And the other thing that I never wanted to do was get dependent on money that I would start expecting to come from Google, because the day that the rug is finally pulled out from under us, which it's going to come we're all on borrowed time.
Yes.
When it comes to shit like this. I never really wanted to be in that position. Now, and when April 2020 came around and they said no more super chats for you, which of course is ridiculous, because the reasoning is always that you are doing something that is potentially harmful. We're going to allow you to continue to broadcast, but you can't collect a super chat from it. So it's like, and they tell you something like bullying or hate speech or medical misinformation. If I was really with anybody,
that's the one. Medical
if anybody's
misinformation.
doing this shit, why would you ever allow? I mean, thanks for letting me stick around for a little while longer, but why would you ever allow somebody that's actually inciting violence to just have a week-long timeout? Why aren't you taking them off?
Exactly.
But to your point, I don't know. A lot of people have made. They made a lot of arguments about whether or not to just deplatform somebody, especially if it has become a very strong part of their brand, whether or not it's tortious interference. And I don't know. It doesn't seem like that has really gone very far with the legal minds out there, because nothing has really changed. But yeah, I think it's about to start raining.
Yeah. Well.
That's right. I'll bring us into the basement if that's the case, into the Bin Laden basement.
I love it. But you mentioned Tim Pool, and I'm going to tell you something. That guy's got backdoor access. When you get that big and you get that much notice, he gets backdoor action. And again, for all these people that talk all their shit, they're not doing anything. They're falling for it. The same bullshit that Crowder was like, look at the Daily Wire, and he shares that, recorded phone call. Look, they're all catering to YouTube. It's like, go ahead.
That was horseshit. I did
exactly.
I didn't like any of that. That whole 2 weeks of drama was just like, please.
Exactly.
Please. Yeah.
Yep.
Anyway.
Well, not that I want to get into it with you, but
whatever you want to do, Olga, I'm here to follow your lead. You just
what's up, baby?
Just throw shit at me.
Well, I was looking at wait, you cut out. Oh man, what? You cut out. Okay, wait, you're back. Am
I back?
I can see your face going. I could read your lips like, just throw shit at me. Oh.
I got full bars, so I didn't think.
No, you're good.
You let me know if I got to move.
No. No, you're good. So, well, I didn't even do my intro. Let me do my intro for those who are new. Hey, if you're new, awesome to have you. If you've been here before, welcome back, my love. Make sure to comment. Your comments are my fuel. I do read them and I will respond. And let me know, especially if you don't want me to miss your comment or share it, super chat it. I mean, there's so many ways also to help the channel, help my work. Show Frank some love over here. Let him know how awesome we are, We're a new community, but we're a strong, smart, fun, kind of badass community too. We haven't had many trolls. I don't know why. I think my audience is like,
don't worry.
They're coming.
Every once in a while.
All right, I'm going to do a quick intro for those who are new and don't know what's going on, who I'm about. And I'm going to come back to Frank and see what he has to say about my insight on the Tucker and the Crowder latest. And the thing is, it's not about gossip, guys. You know me. It's about looking at it for what it really is. No hype, no bullshit. Because that's why everyone's all against each other, because it's so much bullshit. Okay, I'll be right back. Hi, I'm Olga S. Pérez, coming at you live, unleashing the power of perspective, one reaction at a time. I've been a life strategist for over 20 years, and I'm here to share my insights on trending topics, current news, and music videos that we all want to talk about with love and humor. Hey, Bass. Hello, Bass. Hello, Tanya. Hello, Chris. Hello, Sean. How's everybody doing?
Hey,
You got to make sure to comment. Okay, so, all right. Well, real quick. Well, I like to always start with something kind of funny, but this was kind of. What do you guys think about this? Tell me, because Frank, tell me if you think this is for real.
What, cattle mutilations?
Yeah, that's a good one. Can you see
Getting
my
those
screen?
again.
Oh wait, here we go. Check this out. Did you see this today?
Watch the shocking moment pint glass mysteriously explodes in haunted pub. Let's see. Get the hell out of there.
And then, so I proceed to read it. It says, this is a spooky moment. A pint glass shatters spontaneously in a pub, which the staff say is haunted by a former tenant, in quote, trying to steal drinks.
I wonder if they had any kind. Now, I don't know. Is there? What are the skeptics in there saying? Because is that New York Post?
Yeah, it's New York Post.
Resonant. I'm thinking about resonant sound. What about that? Like, what can have been done? Could it have been targeted silently by some kind of a device in the room?
I thought that. Plus, even because I used to bartend, like it could be anything. Like, what if I took that? Well, not me personally, but I saw bartenders that would take the hot glasses straight out of the dishwasher and fill it up, and sometimes that can do it. But the fact that there's a delayed, then that's what made me think that it was something like that sound. That's exactly what I thought.
But then again, there's other glasses on the table. So how effectively could you point energy like that? Like how does it spray out, or can you really just focus it on that pint glass? I don't know. That's strange.
Right. The other thing moving forward to, the Crowder thing. Did you ever see this? Let me see. Well, first of all, this one was kind of funny. Right. Oh man. So, are you familiar with Owen Benjamin? Anyway, here's a GIF that I saw, and I'm like, okay, they're acting goofy, no problem. Somebody wrote, made this GIF years and years ago. Okay, so I'm like, all right,
is that not Gay Jared?
Yes, I think that is him. Okay. Right, the guy with the NDA.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I just found Owen Benjamin when I started doing research on Andrew Tate. And then I never even knew, because I don't watch TV. I didn't even know this comedian at all. And then I actually watch his podcast or his show. I love it. I love him. I mean, he don't give a shit. I don't know if you're familiar with him. But
of course.
Yeah, and I don't have to agree with everything he says, but I feel like he's got he's a real person, a real heart. And anyway.
He's definitely been on a journey the last few years, that's for sure. And it's been really interesting to see him come back to Twitter and be able to stretch out a little bit, because he had been chased off of literally everything, even smaller websites like DLive. He had been chased off of it all. So for him to reclaim a voice on Twitter, he's been going hog wild.
I agree. Absolutely. It's horrible. Just because I can't say the words here, because I got a couple of videos, but I already know I can't share them because they have to do with the topics of. I'm telling you, even if I say the word train. Right? The TRA.
That one.
Dude, my videos are automatically coming up with the limited ads. Again, I'm not making a penny from the ads anyway, but like they're assuming before I even go live, even when I click the on button for the monetization, it's like no.
Every night when I go, I mean, hey, it sucks because we're at a point I know that you look into the esoteric aspects of our spectrum over here, but as far as the transhuman aspect of where we are going and why there is such a high concentration of great reset narrative talk, whether we're talking about old world economic models, old world geopolitical balances, all that, and then actually going into how the new models are going to require us to actually become cybernetic hybrids of what we once were. To know where they want to bring us in that kind of an end game model is to know a little bit better of what we are living through right now with the gender fluidity stuff. I mean, this is one phase in the transition into saying, okay, well, if somebody can wake up different from the person they were the day before, then there is literally nothing uncontroversial about putting some kind of a subdermal implant in that modifies your body. Everybody, if body modification is just something that is identity affirming, then we can modify our bodies with anything. And then eventually we are going to be living in purely synthetic virtual worlds where you everything that you had previously had a delusion of being, that you needed to go to a costume store and buy your wigs and your dresses and everything else. Now you can just design yourself like it's Total Recall. So it's a lot of people are just like, oh, we got to keep talking about this TRAN stuff, and you say, well, it's not so much a fad as people think it is. This is a very planned phase.
Yes.
In our transition. I mean, we're going to move through this, yeah, but we're not going. This is not like when our parents got rid of the bell bottoms after the 1970s and they threw them away, and then they moved on, they cleaned up, and they stopped becoming hippies. The hippie stuff was over. We're moving through this into a more dangerous version of that, and it's all by well publicized plan too. So it sucks that it's so, and it's another reason why they're making it so hard to talk about. So
Yes, of course, I get it. If I have an agenda, if I have a surprise that I want to keep silent or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, you do whatever it takes, when you're trying to get something accomplished, and you cheat and you do whatever, right? Mm-hmm. So the reason why I want to share this with you is I'm just curious to see if you've known this video, because I remember finding this a while ago. But now with the whole Crowder divorce, and this is not because I want to talk about Crowder divorce, because of course it's already these articles about, oh, Candace Owen is backlash.
Oh, I saw that.
You know what I mean?
Something about extortion,
dude. But the thing is, these are the people that consider themselves like the good people. They're the conservative, the family, the Christians, and I'm going, you're not. You don't represent that shit, because you're a liar. You guys are all fake. You're all shills. That's bottom line. It's like, Candace is a bitch. Like, as well as she could be so well spoken, and that's what I first liked her original story of, hey, I was told because of the color of my skin, I have to be a victim, right? And then she started doing speaking engagement stuff, and then boom, she's where she's at now. But I'm like, but I've seen her act really nasty, and I'm going, girl, you're not that old to be talking so boldly, and that's before she even had her first kid. I think she now has 2 kids, and I saw her a little bit kind of tender up a little bit, if that's the word. But English is my third language, by the way, so I'm always saying some crazy shit.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I'm dyslexic too, so how about that?
Wow, so you got 4 languages.
Yeah, I was born in Naples, Italy. That was my first language. Then my mother's from Spain. My dad was in the Navy, and then he's an American from, get this, Bristol, PA. Bristol, dude.
Born in Italy, so you speak Italian. That's something I want to get fluent so bad. I've been working on this piecemeal for years, and I don't put I also have nobody to practice with. That's my other thing.
Right.
So Italy, what else? Italy.
So then I grew up in Spain, and then obviously America, English. I went to college here. Well, my third major anyway was here. That's a long, we could be here all day, but just so you know, like, why is she sounding? Because I have a pretty good American accent. People always just think I'm a dumb blonde, and it's like, I dye my hair clearly.
No, you sound very Northeast. You sound like you're coming from the New York, Philly area.
When I was in Spain, before I even came to the U.S., the Americans that were in the military and stuff there would say to me, I don't believe you're Spanish. Like, you sound like you're from like New York or like, Northeast. And I'm like, no. And I didn't even know who Howard Stern was or Joan Rivers, and people were comparing me to them. And I'm like, and there was no internet then. I'm a little old here, but don't worry. I'm. When
was the last time you went to I know we're drifting off from what you wanted to talk about, but when was the last time? Do you ever go to Europe and just?
Oh, yeah. Every year except for the past few years, but it had nothing to do with COVID. It's just my business. I was doing events. I had a lot going on. And so I typically, when I go,
I spoke Spanish and Italian. I'd be in Europe a lot, just hanging out.
Yeah, my family's there. Like, they're not here. I'm alone here. But I never thought I was going to stay this long, Frank. I thought I was going to do like the exchange student thing. Not that I did exactly that.
Now you just can't leave.
every time I was going to leave, I'm like, oh, I have a house or I have a car. And then I'm like, and then I fall in love and then I move in with a guy and then, oh, okay, well now move down. Now I'll go to Spain. Like every 5 years, I'm like, oh, now I'm going to go. And it's been 20 years and counting. And I'm like, but I have a really shitty family, a really dysfunctional family, like toxic. And so,
Well, I mean,
at first it was like, hey, before when I was living in Germany, after the first place when I left as an adult at 18, I went to Germany and my parents are like, oh, you're only 3 hours away on a plane. When are you going to come see us? And then I was like, when I had the opportunity to come to the U.S. and although it was just going to be temporary, I was like, yeah, now she can't be like, oh, you could be here in 3 hours. You know, I got to cross the whole pond.
Right.
And then, but now I've gotten way bolder. Now my mother goes, so when you going to come see me? Eh? You say you love me. You don't love me. You don't love me. You never call me. I call her all the time, by the way. She just lies and lies. So I said, Ma. She goes, what's the matter? You don't have money, huh? Oh, you're in America. Oh, you're going to have... I've been to America. I know America. I got money here.
the streets are paved with gold. That's what they used to say.
Yeah, but my mother knew. And then because when she was married to my dad, my dad passed a few years ago. But she heard that, but she didn't really think that. But she came here. She couldn't stand it. She felt very lonely here. And she felt very marginalized because she's from Spain. People think she was Mexican. And she's like, and this is, the 60s. Anyway, we can go down that rabbit hole too. But she got it. She was like, okay, America's not for me. America's not, it's
Right.
not. My dad was working for RCA because he was a radioman in the Navy, got out because she didn't want to be in the military. Then she comes here, can't stand it, has my dad re-enlist, goes back to Europe. Anyway, then they become entrepreneurs. They open restaurants and hotels. And I was 9 years old.
Do they have any chains still open?
No, she just sold. So my dad passed 4 years ago and they retired and they dwindled. They had 4 or 5 places. They dwindled back to the first one they opened. And then right when, I don't know how, my mother, Jesus, God, somebody up there loves her because she was holding on to it because she was like, people weren't giving her the money it was worth. Ever since 2008, when the economy, Spain has never recovered, and it's actually gotten worse now with all the immigration and whatnot. So she wanted her money. She's like, no, I put, this is my first place I opened in 1982 when we were number one forever, and we were still doing good. And I'm like, but my mom's 85, right? Well, now she's 85, so a couple years ago. Anyway, she finally got an offer that she knew that none of the kids wanted to continue the legacy in that industry, and then she got out. She got out. So I think she sold it right when COVID was 2020, March 15th, something like that, right?
Yeah.
So it was that October or something that she was able to sell it.
What do you think about that? First of all, what was again, I'm sorry that I dragged you off.
No, you're the one that I'm concerned about your time.
No, but what do you feel about when you say that she's looking forever, dwindle, selling off properties, then they have the original spot, but ultimately the final sell off is because nobody wanted to continue the legacy. What do you think about that? Where is that old school? Are we ever going to get that old school mentality of going into the family business, tradition, loyalty? Is that just all gone? When does it come back? Because
That's a great question, Frank. I'm so glad you asked that question. That's such a great question. So my mother has a brother who also had a very, very popular bar restaurant, with tapas and stuff in Salamanca. And both the sons were forced to work from childhood like me. Like at 9 years old, I'm on a Coke crate upside down because the sinks were really deep and I was doing dishes. My friends would come in the back, knock on the back window, hey, can you come play hide and go seek? I'm like, no. So when you don't have a childhood and you see all your other friends having a childhood, very different because it's the 80s, right? Where my parents, everybody had to work, right? Nobody had a childhood, right? Everything was tough. Everything was, from the Spanish Civil War with the Franco dictatorship, you know what I mean? So once the 80s hit and all this freedom, Franco passed at the end of the 70s, I forget, it was 77, 78. And so the Spaniards were like, freedom, right? And so the parents started raising the kids differently. That's where it all started. They started catering to the kids. Okay, let them go play. Let them not have to work. Let them not have to do chores. The Americans at that point, at least, they would say, okay, you're 18, you got to get a job and move out. Remember, that was back in the day. Now parents don't do that. So the parenting is major. But I've come from one of six. I'm the fourth of six. And I couldn't stand it. I mean, that was never my dream. But my mother, being the typical leader, sergeant, she's an Aries, and she's like, this is the way it's going to be. And we're going to open all these restaurants, and all the kids, she wanted all the cubs around her, and they're all going to take care of all the businesses. And then I'm going to retire young, and I'm still going to be in charge. And that's what collapsed it, was that she still is, a controlling, selfish bitch.
Well,
so, because we all tried, except for me. I was the only one that left and never came back. The rest always kept coming back. I mean, I go back to visit all the time until recently. But I would go on vacation. My mother's like, oh, what do you think? You're going to come here, not going to work? I'm like, yep. I got my own money. I paid for my own education. I paid for everything myself. I don't owe you shit. You wanted me here? I'm here. And she's just like, oh, yeah? Oh, that must be the life, you know? And so the guilt trips and the bullshit. And then at the end.
well, we know guilt trips over here, no doubt.
Oh, my God. I just had it with her this 2 weeks ago. She goes, Olga, listen. You need to come over here and open a rotisserie chicken place. It's big right now. Everybody's doing it, but they suck. The chickens are dry. Mind you, she's 85, okay? Like, she can't do it anymore, so she wants to still, like, manipulate somebody. And
She knows the market. Good for her.
Yeah. And she's like, I found you a good location. It'll be good rent. Like, nothing. Like, 1,000 euros a month. You're gonna get loaded. And, you move here. I'm like, Ma, and what's this for? Because I guess you don't want to be alone. But the woman has literally pushed everybody away from her because it's just her way or the highway. And when you've been doing what she's done for so many years, and she was very successful, she can't just lay down. She can't just chill out and knit or do something like a grandmother. Now, if I show you a picture of her, oh my God, where's my phone?
I got that feeling. I don't know. That's just what I'm an Aries too. I know that kind of. Let's go. We can do this kind of a.
No wonder I love your energy. I'm a Leo, baby.
Oh, it's just
the fire.
The worst thing about it is when you got this great idea. You know it would be great for everybody, but you just can gauge the energy in the room, and nobody wants to do it. You're like, fuck me. Does anybody want to do anything? Does anybody want to do anything constructive? But how many? Are you spread all over the world, you and your siblings?
At the moment, yeah. For the most part, they were always in Spain, and they would come and go, like leave and come back. But right now, my mom's in Spain. My dad passed, but he passed in Spain. And my little brother is living literally blocks from my mother. But my little sister is now with my oldest sister in Kentucky. And my sister, dude, we could be here all day. So my oldest sister, she, not only is she a Mormon, she became Mormon, and married a Mormon, and they have this whole way of living, right? And hierarchies and whatnot. Anyway, she, in order to go back to Spain to be close to the family, got him into Dodds. I believe that's what it's called. It's one of those like teachers for the government, for the military kids. Okay. So he's not military, but he has a contract and he teaches on the American bases. So they've been to Italy, they've been to Spain a few times. They're trying to go back there again now. But for now, they're in Kentucky for the last 2 years. Then I have a sister in Texas, and she's a nurse.
What do you think, since you talk about freedom a lot?
Oh, and my older brother, he was in New York, just moved to Florida like a month ago. Sorry. And I made him move to New York to be close to me, and he was
so then half of you are here in the U.S.
Yeah, now we are. Now.
Okay. So, and what are your parents? Since you're Spain all the way, what are their thoughts about Catalonia?
Oh, they don't really they don't care. It's like, I mean, they don't want the separation. They want it to be part of Spain because everybody wants to be proud of that. Like País Vasco, right? The Basque region, right? Where most of that Spanish Rioja wine comes from, the Rioja region.
Yeah.
So everybody's a little bitch, okay? That's a Spaniard for you right there. They're like, oh, this is ours. We don't want to share it with anybody, okay? They can be so outgoing and so hospitable because that's the culture. But when it comes to possessions, man, everybody's like, it's a socialist mentality. You know what I'm saying? And that's like communism, you know what I mean? So they want the power and they don't want to share it, but then so Catalonia, that's what they just want the money. It's very simple. Everybody in Spain knows that they just want the money because the country makes so much money on tourism from Barcelona.
See, that's why I always whenever that pops up, we haven't heard of it a while since COVID. You know, before COVID, Catalonia was showing up in the headlines over and over again because they wanted to push for independence. We
Yeah.
had all of the yellow vest movements that were going on for dozens of weeks in France and elsewhere. We had the Hong Kong protests and all that stuff. People were getting more emboldened over in the U.S. Obviously, there was big time political shifts. Brexit was gaining momentum over in the UK, and then they just put the wet blanket on the entire planet.
Exactly.
You stop hearing about everybody that wants some freedom, and it's just crazy. And now here we are in Blade Runner land.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, guess what? I'm not going to take it on my knees. You know what I mean? Because that's the other thing that I've always considered myself a Spaniard because I grew up there. And like when I get mad or when I make love, it's in Spanish, baby. Like, but people always ask me like, do you pray in Spanish or stuff like that? I'm like, well, I can tell you when I'm pissed, I'm like, me cago en la puta hostia. But sometimes I'll do the English one like, fuck. But usually it's in Spanish when I'm very passionate, and especially if it's got to do with love, then I'm like, ay Dios mío, you know what I mean? Okay,
yeah.
Let me stop. Gotta keep
I know.
it PG.
You're getting everybody very hot right now. So you gotta watch out. This is the internet, remember.
Oh, I know.
This is the bonus content. You want to jump off of YouTube for the bonus content behind the paywall.
That's true.
So do you ever take that energy to, are you in the Philadelphia area?
I'm living in Center City, Philadelphia. How'd you know? Did you look it up or did I tell you?
No, I think I saw it, and I just forget if it was Philadelphia or Pittsburgh, but I knew you were Pennsylvania. So do you ever bring any of that energy of yours to any of the sports stadiums over there? Because they're very vicious fans over there for all the sports.
They are. No.
But I can see you fitting right in, just screaming at one person or another, berating a referee. I can see you fitting right in.
Oh, you mean like to be like a talk?
No, to actually go to a games anywhere and just be a vicious fan.
Oh, no. It's funny.
Don't care.
I used to play sports. I played soccer, in fact. Do you guys have hand soccer here in the U.S.? You know what I'm talking about? There's soccer and it's a smaller ball. Anyway, I did both. I did the regular one. I did volleyball. I was a captain of my volleyball team. I mean, I ran track. I was always very active, and then I got into dancing, and then that took off. Like, that's all I did. In fact, I was a choreographer, and I used to teach dancing, flamenco, you name it, because I anything to do with dance. And back in the 80s, I would watch the videos on MTV and I would imitate all the break dance moves and shit. Now I'm just when I dance, it's more like I just want to get goofy, get crazy, like, you know what I'm saying? Like dance around naked and shit, and just
go, wedding dancing.
Yeah, like I just laugh my ass off, because I'm like, oh yeah, and I don't take myself serious. Before I was like very like, oh yeah, it was always fun. Don't get me wrong, because that's the other thing I didn't like is that the ballroom dance scene started getting way too. It's like same with the salsa scene. Like I used to do the salsa scene, but then everyone's like all about this moves and proper, but they're not having fun, dude. They're not having fun. There's no passion. I wanted to be able to go on a dance floor with a guy and we got the chemistry, and I'm not saying we're going to have to go to bed with each other, but it was so cool when the guy was like taunting you and playing with you and you're like, Tama ya,
I always wondered, okay, well, I let loose at weddings and shit like that. But I don't know what I always wanted to learn some kind of it. Lauren, me and my wife, we were always like, what are we gonna do? We're gonna do a ball. But if I don't know what it is, ballroom dancing or something else. I don't necessarily want to go learn a waltz. I want to do something fun. Maybe jitterbug, something. I don't know.
They are fun. The jitterbug is fun. Yeah. You have one daughter that I saw that's adorable. But do you have more? Do you have more than one kid? Okay, it was just her. Aurora, yeah. One day she was telling you something, you go, come to the mic, honey. Come to the mic. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't. Oh, you're the best.
She's gonna be, I can't even believe what's coming out of her lately as far as our conversations at just 2.5. But do I have anything that she's told me recently on tape? I don't know.
Your wife's awesome too. She's very smart. I love her energy.
I have a good time with all of them. I really do.
What's her sign? What's your wife's sign?
Well, she's next to, she's this Saturday. She's April 29th. So what is that?
April 29th is Taurus.
Yeah, so there you go.
She's Taurus. That's good. Taurus and Aries do very well. No wonder
Yeah.
you guys look like the perfect partner in every way. Granted, I haven't been to your house. I haven't really seen, but it's not my.
It's totally yin and yang. We don't fight. It doesn't mean that we don't disagree on things, but we it's good teamwork. And
yeah,
I'm a lot more type A, and she's a lot more type B. So there's not a lot of headbutting, and she actually calms me down. So
that's perfect. Grounding, yeah, Taurus grounding.
Well, I try to rev her up. That's the other thing. I try to. She
likes that.
Up. Yeah, so
that's my gut feeling. I don't know. Like, I got a feeling that.
Hopefully, I'm not too exhausting. If you and I got together, this would have been, I don't know, atomic. We would have leveled cities or something like that.
Hey guys, one of the things I mentioned when I emailed Frank to be on my show, I put in there. I said, "Hey, I don't know if you want to talk ahead of time. Like get a sense of me or something." And I wrote like, "I'm warning you though," because I said something like 5 or 15 minutes because I was trying to not take his time. But I was trying to show my personality. You know how it's hard, dude, when you're doing like an email. It's like,
it's tough.
Yeah, and then I wrote in there, I said, because I have a mouth, and he responds, "I got a mouth too," and I'm like, but you on your show, I love that. By the way, thank you so much for being here.
No
I can't
problem.
thank you enough.
Anytime.
But your energy is so different. Like right now, I feel like I'm right there with you. That we're shooting the shit. That we're like, "Hey, what's going on?" And on your show, you're very, very. There's a flow on your show. You're very professional. So it's great to see you this way. That you're not like, I thought you would be in your chair, like, "Okay, Olga, yeah, hi, this is Frank." Kind of like.
No way. I think a lot of people get to, whenever I don't make a lot of public appearances, but I have met people that are in the audience before at certain events and shit. And anybody has ever been able to hang out with me outside, like let's say we're in the backyard having a cigar on a summer night sometime, and we're off air. I'm doing a lot more listening, and I'm doing a lot more. I'll crack jokes, and we'll be whatever, but. Host mode is different than everything else. I like just kind of shutting up from time to time because I have a horrible thing with dead air. So I'm always making sure that everything's planned out. I have backups for every segment to make sure that there's always something to go to. Contingency plans, because if you're live, anything can go wrong. You're gonna have to buy yourself some time, and then just a little bit added. My buddy Matt just showed up.
Hi, Matt.
Yeah, he's trying to check. He's trying to find where the hell that possum is coming from.
Oh my God, that reminds me. I know you have to go. I had a story to 2017. I have at the time I was in a 3-story house, roof deck, whatnot. Anyway, and their nice backyard, whatever. The point is that we had a garbage can with the lid on it, and I go there to throw my trash into it, right, until it's trash day, because when you're in the city, it's like once a week.
Mm-hmm.
And I open it and I scream, dude. I'm like, what? There was a dead possum on the bottom. I guess it crawled in there and couldn't get out. You gotta go.
Well, are you sure it was dead?
No, it was dead because it was freezing out and it was frozen, and so no one wanted to deal with it. I called my friends. I didn't want to deal with it. Long story short, I ended up having to deal with it, but I did have a couple friends come. But it's when it thawed out, the smell. Oh my God!
And they secrete a dead, almost like a rotten meat smell on their own, almost like because when they play dead, they actually I don't know.
That's the way that.
Yeah, because when they play dead, they support this performance of theirs with the stench.
Oh,
yeah,
I never smelled anything so foul in my life.
Man, that's gross.
So you got possum issues?
No, listen, I'm actually I'm working on it. I really am, because I don't want to be totally debilitated by the sight of an animal. There's one thing to have to cuddle with one, but it's another thing to be able to see one and not have to want to run away in revulsion. But it was actually because of something like that. It started this ridiculous cycle of irrationality. when I was a kid, we found this possum on the side of our swimming pool, and we're like, oh shit, what the hell is this thing? A squirrel? So but it's just laying. It's just laying there. We even like dropped a few things on it to see if it would move. Nothing. So I said, all right, guess it's dead. Maybe a raccoon killed it or something. So I took a shovel, I scooped it up, and we walked to the back end of our yard. We dug it a grave. We tried to be very respectful. And then maybe a couple of weeks later, like dumb little kids that we are, we wanted to dig it up again to see what it looked like. And it was not there. It wasn't there. And I'm thinking, this fucking thing rose from the dead. And it was just very creepy. It's just a very creepy thing. And the triangle face, the hissing, the rat tail. It's just very the coach that looks like dirty snow. Ugh.
It's true. It's true.
I want to be over it. And that's why I'm looking at, like last night, I got out of the shower and I went to the back window just to, every once in a while, before I go to bed, I just do a spot check of everything. I go to the back door, I flip open the lights, I look around a little bit and all that stuff. And I saw by the rock formation that I had installed in the back corner of the whatchamacallit, the yard, there was just a little extra mass there was just a little bit more to the rock formation that I didn't notice before. I said, what the fuck is that? I said, I know it is. I know, I'm just going to wait. And what do you know? Start moving, turn around, and there's that triangle face. And I just, okay, look at it. Just watch it. Just keep your eyes on it. And I just stood there. And I just, I soaked it all up. And, but then I said, hey, Matt, listen, you got to come by and maybe we can get this thing out of the neighborhood because this sucks. I don't want it around here.
And when does this start? Like, how long has he been showing up?
I don't know. Every once in a while, these things pop up, and you just they live under everybody's crawl spaces and stuff. And on the other hand is that they're really not that bad. And I understand that from an ecological standpoint, they actually serve a really nice purpose. I mean, they eat ticks. They eat a lot of different types of things. They're like nature's garbage disposal in many ways. And but I don't know. I got some growing to do, I guess.
Well, I don't want to take more of your time, but
anytime you want me back, Olga, you let me know.
Thank you, Frank. I will. Everyone, I have his link in the description below, but either way, it's quitefrankly.tv, correct?
Absolutely.
And guys, you're doing a show tonight, right? You do 5 days a week?
Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Every once in a while, every once a month, there's a Saturday night show. You got to be a guest on one of those shows, or you got to call. You just call in, surprise us, whatever the hell it is. I don't know. We got to do some stuff.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Absolutely, we'll do. All right. Well, Frank, I love your name too, by the way.
Thank you. I love you.
Quite frankly, like really. No, but Frank.
It plays. I don't know. I don't know what the hell it even came. What was it about? Is it
Frank like from Francis? Was your birth certificate Francis?
No, I'm just
Frank.
Monosyllabic Frank. Just one syllable. That's it. There's no Francesco. There's nothing.
Franco.
None.
Franco.
No, just Frank.
So you're Italian. I know.
Yes.
We'll talk again because if you went to Italy, if you could take off just a month and submerge yourself in a village in Italy, you'd be fine.
I love it. I'd love it. I really would. I mean, I think my grandfather on my grandfather on my father's side, I think that his family was from Naples. I think that's as farthest north that we go. Everybody else is Reggio di Calabria, Sheila, the small village at the tip of the boot, and I think also what is it? Bari. I have to get all the towns in I have it all written down. So if I need an itinerary of where I got to visit next whenever I do finally go out there. But I just want to be as as the least amount of gringo as possible. I understand that if I'm born and raised in New York. I'm never going to not be American wherever I go out there, but I just don't want to be this completely illiterate gringo who needs everybody to speak it. I want to speak Italian when I go out there.
Well, you look like you fit right in. They're going to look at you and they're going to be like, hey, you know, they're going to speak Italian right away.
Oh, yeah. Well,
and then when you open your mouth, you know, and they're like, Americano.
He's one of those halvesies.
Yeah, but you know what? So many of the immigrants are still in contact with family over, especially in the Naples area, that everybody has like a cousin or whatever that comes like every summer that's American. Some speak English, Italian, some don't. And they know it's a different vibe. It's not like if you went to Florence. You know?
I think the first step is I have to find mine.
Yes.
Whoever is out there that I have some DNA linked to, I got to first find them and start up some correspondence. So maybe it can be part of a plan to cross the pond. But either way, we're at that point right now where Lauren and I are like, okay, well, when do we put Aurora on a plane to even take a 2-hour flight, let alone a 17-hour flight?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I guess I got a couple more years to learn. So.
Well, in the current state of the planet, I don't think there's much planning we can do. I think just staying afloat and on top, you know, and not on our knees or taking the shit laying down. I think we're going through a massive point in history, at least in the last 2,000 years.
Oh yeah. And that's the other thing I always think about when I think about Europe. My original dream was to go to the UK and follow the Allied advance. I wanted to cross the English Channel and I wanted to go through Europe that way. You know, maybe block off about a month, do all the essentials, and spend a little bit more time in some places than others. But you know, now I'm like, well, not only do I need to learn Italian, and not only do I have to time the trip so that Aurora will be able to survive a 17-hour flight, but I also need to keep in mind that Europe may not be Europe for much longer. Instead of learning Italian, I might have to learn Arabic.
That's what I mean.
I just don't know.
You got it, baby. You are ahead.
Jeez.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'll let you go. I feel bad. It's been an hour. You were like, I only got 45 minutes. And I was like, you got it.
You squeezed 60 out of me. So it's
well, it's funny because even my audience would tell you lately, I used to be very much on time, but lately I feel like when I try to be on time and then something happens and then I'll get verklempt. And so I'm starting to be like, you know what? Other people kind of start late. Not that I want to emulate them because I don't have like the audience, the following that like say Steven Crowder, but I feel like people are more understanding than I thought because I'm so, you know, I get shit done.
You start early, you end late. That is the kind of untimeliness people like. I
didn't think about that. I didn't think about with live streaming. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, do they really want me to? Because I feel like when I start on time, it takes like 15 minutes before people start coming in.
Well, like, that's the whole. Okay, so this is why I do a grab bag segment. So every night I go live at 7:00. I start the stream at about 6:55. You get a little bit of music, kind of, you know, getting you all warmed up and juicy. And then I start doing my little announcements at the beginning, and then I'll do maybe 10 to 15 minutes of grab bag articles, just random articles that have nothing usually to do with the main topic of the night. And then I play my intro video at 7:15. And by that time, everybody has their asses in their seats, and you can do the meat and potatoes afterwards.
Yeah, that's perfect. I'm going to take that. I'm going to do that.
Go ahead, take it.
Thank you, Frank. Thank you so much. Bless you.
Right.
And I'll talk to you soon.
Touch.
Have a great day. Will do.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye. What do you guys think, huh? Well, it seems like you guys were quiet. Or I wonder if I'm not getting a lot of views today because maybe because the guest? Like, I don't even know if you guys even read the chats. Like, I mean, the description. You know what I mean? Because, you know, sometimes I do know what I'm going to talk about. Sometimes I can't make up my mind. And so that's why I just say it's the Olga S. Pérez Show Live, you know, episode on this one is 140, which again, no coincidence. Like, he picked the date. And he was like, how about Wednesday? I'm like, that works for me. And it just so happens that it's 140. And if you add up in numerology, 1 and 4 is 5, and that's change. It means other things too. But I don't believe in coincidences. You know that. Because you know what I know? That we know nothing. Yes. Especially when we've been lied to our whole lives. Only the elite. Just like the monks back in the day, when the monks, they had all the information. They knew how to read and write. And that's what's going on. Now we got a little smarter. So they used us, like in the internet. They tested the ground. They used us. They got us all addicted to it, changed our life. All to manipulate us. And now they're like, okay, we got that. Now we're going to take it all away. And that's what all this whole freaking game is. But like I said, I was talking a little bit about Crowder, but here's the thing. I know a lot of you watch Crowder, and I wanted to know if you guys saw this stuff, because I did see this video in particular. So I'm going to jump back into the whole Crowder Tucker thing. And let's see how much time we have. I did not, Megan, she was, Megan Kelly, she was trending on Twitter, and I'm like, why is she trending? And it was the whole Tucker Carlson thing, which I thought the same thing. I'm like, when we talked about it on Monday, I'm like, I didn't say he was fired. And then, but somebody had said in a chat, like, oh yeah, and also Don Lemon and some other Rice woman, I guess, they got fired. So I thought, I'm like, oh, they got fired, but I'm not reading anything that Tucker got fired. And sure enough. So I was like, let's clear the freaking air that he's not been fired. And he's not even had a full exit yet. But real quick, in case you missed it. So do you guys remember, have you guys been watching Crowder that long that you remember this at all? Like, what's his name again? Gay Frank? Or no, what's the name? I wasn't watching him then, but I do know of him because I looked into the story. But let me make sure you guys can see what I see. Okay. Because, I get ahead of myself. So here's Owen Benjamin. And, he's like, the moment Owen realized he wasn't working for a straight Christian conservative. And see, that's my issue. That it's not about the gossip. It's about the truth. Like, why can't you just be an entertainer? And that's it. Just be like, hey, I like to talk about trending news. I like talk politics. But who I really am, just be honest or shut up. Stop with the left and the right. And I'm conservative and I'm Christian. I'm this and I'm that and I'm that. And the thing is, another point about this is, why can't he be bisexual and be Christian? I mean, if you really have, in fact, here's why I'm going to show this clip. So it's not about making him look bad. It's about, let's have a real conversation about this shit. Like adults, learn from it, support the people. Because, there are gay Christians, for God's sakes. There is. And some of them struggle really hard because if their religion says you can't be gay, but their tendency is to be gay. Didn't we already go through this in the 50s? Like, we don't really know how to handle it. But I'll tell you what, loving each other and just trying to, anytime you love something, good shit comes. You know what I'm saying? It shouldn't be about, well, Christ said, Scripture says, and who wrote the Scripture? Like, let's stop this shit. If everyone just adopted the simple, which is what I adopt, which it is who I am, is love thy neighbor like you love yourself. But see, in a world with people that really hate themselves, which I believe the whole TRA, you know what, is actually hate. It is hate. It's self-hate, 100%. It's got nothing to do. The gender dysphoria could be a component, or is a component in many occasions, in many situations. But for the most part, it's, trying to fit in. Like, again, I don't want to say this guy's name, the Bud Light, the so-called spokesperson for the Bud Light. I'm not going to mention his name because, again, I'm not trying to give this guy attention. But, the fact that YouTube is also censoring if I don't use the right pronoun, it's like, if my brain thinks you're a this or a that, I'm just doing that. You can't punish people. Like, I'm on the phone all the time. People are constantly calling me sir because I have a deep voice. It's been happening since I was a teenager. I had a hoarse voice when I was a kid. I remember getting teased about it a lot, but I remember my oldest siblings' friends would say, especially the guy friends, they would be like, when you grow up, people are going to think that's sexy. And I'm like, really? You don't know shit when you're like 6. But anyway, As you can see, I can go on and on and on. But let's watch this clip because I did find this back when he was talking all that stuff about having his like half Asian or part Asian lawyer. And I thought, okay, let's see if this guy is really more than what he talks. And then when he did the whole thing, and I'm like, recording people and the way he delivered, I told you guys, that's low budget shit, man. That's low. I don't care what your issues are. And of course, now Candace comes out and she's like, oh, we need to pray for him. She's a liar. She's a liar. She's a bitch and she's a liar. And that's my point. Like, why do you even talk about him? Well, I'm going to have legal action against him. And they're supposed to be conservative. So, of course, the other so-called group, they're like, oh, look, they're fighting with each other. Dude, all of you are all fake and don't want to lose your money. That's all this is about. And they'll do whatever it takes to get a view and a like and talk about narcissism. Candace, telling you. If you see them for what they really are, you just can't swallow them. It's like Tim Cass too. It's like, you're a liar and you talk all this shit and you're using it because it's made you grow into where you're at. So then you don't represent me because you're a fake. That means you're a sellout. And that means you'll sell anybody for yourself. You know what I'm saying? So why would I support you? Why would I pay? People don't want to see. Okay. But they will. You'll see. So here's this clip that I found. There's just enough.
I'm afraid, frankly, that he's got a bad temper. I'm afraid of it coming back. I'm afraid of Mr. Hyde rearing his ugly bisexual head. That was a short phase.
Oh. Dude.
I'm afraid of it coming back. I'm afraid of Mr. Hyde rearing his ugly bisexual head. That was a short phase. No, I'm afraid. Afraid of getting angry. Afraid of being too emotional. Afraid of being obsessive. I'm afraid of, and this is why you might have seen that there was a pause at U of M. I'm afraid of having children. I'm really afraid of having children. I said I don't like kids. That's not true. I like kids.
See, that's the thing. I didn't care about the fact that he was like, the Mr. Jekyll Hyde. I didn't care about the having afraid to be children. I thought that was awesome that he was being honest. So my point is, I even liked that he was honest and he was open with this clip. But this was what I can't find yet. If you guys can find it, I was trying to look on his archive for this clip because I wanted to get a timeline. I wanted to know when. So, but then when you actually say yourself that you have a Mr. Jekyll Hyde kind of a thing going on, it's not just about your sexual preferences. It's basically a lot of the stuff that people are like, he's a nasty person. I would agree, because what does he do for a living? Entertain. That doesn't make him a good person because he can make you laugh. Let's just look at it for what it is. And he's young and he's growing, and there's room for all of that. But the way you attack people, or the way you record them, the way you go behind people, that's really bad, low shit, and it's not Christian. I don't care if conservatives are the same. It's the same, right? The same coin, different side, same shit. But when you call yourself a Christian, I got a problem with that. Because now we're talking about Jesus Christ. And you can't throw that shit around unless you're going to act like Jesus Christ. That's an issue I've had my entire life. You guys know, if you don't know, I was locked in a convent. My parents put me in a convent years ago, a boarding school convent. Doesn't make me an expert, but my point is that, I've explored, I have experienced, I have looked into this, trials and tribulations during that time and after that time, and looking for the answers. And at the end of the day, the more you dig, the more you find out you don't know shit. And it just gets deeper and deeper. So at the end of the day, you know what you can do? You can say, I'm going to be a different person. Right now, Candace, Crowder, they're all showing who they really are. And Tucker, I never cared for Tucker. First of all, I don't even watch TV. But Tucker, if he had a good headline or whatever, a good subject, I might click and watch it on YouTube. But I've noticed through the years that he grew on me. Like, he became something I felt like there was less and less this elite attitude. He grew. He even says it himself that he used to be a dick. And he learned from it. He was highly embarrassed from his big mouth. on his early years in on television. And I really think that what he did a speech recently where he's like, it just feels good to do the right thing, to say the truth, to stand up. It's freeing, right? And then we can look at that and say, oh, that's why they canned him, but they didn't can him. And again, why isn't anybody talking about that? Oh, it's because of, the Murdochs, whatever the guy's name. You know me with saying this shit wrong. But they're like, oh, he was a liability, or, it's going to cost him money, or that was part of the deal, the settlement, right? From was it Dominium, right? That case. Well, here's what I'm going to tell you. It's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. Because who owns Dominium? It's not just a case of libel. Who owns Dominium? Who's the boss of the boss of the boss? That's what it comes down to. It's, no, we're not letting this come out. The globalists, the elite, the people that we don't even see their faces, those are the people making the calls. It's not about, oh, you made us. There was a documentary about how the Dominion systems are fallible and don't work and are hackable. That's done. End of conversation. The truth is, the world is being led by a group of people, and we're not in it. We're the sheep. So instead of this bullshit and getting distracted with this is what we need to do. Stop. That's why I don't want to talk about that little mockery of a man mocking women. Because the truth is, I stand my ground. He's an actor. And until I am proven that he's not an actor, and this is not just an act, like a massive, great troll, and the companies use it to further divide us and crumble us and demoralize us, we got to completely ignore. Look what happened with the stocks and Bud Light, right? You boycott, it goes down. Well, we need to stop sharing this bullshit of this so-called face of Bud, who I just saw another clip today on Twitter. And again, I'm not going to share it, but here he is, a sponsor for another product, shaving, because girls have beards too, which is true. There are women that grow facial hair, but even when they have a full beard, very rare. And again, you are not you see what I'm saying? I have to be careful of saying the truth. That's what I mean. The backlash has to come. Tim Pool's, all those people with all that influence. But no. And doesn't Tim Pool already have enough people subscribing to his channel? Not his channel, I'm sorry. His website, like Mug Club. Because that's the other thing. Steven didn't reach out to me. He didn't listen to what I said. He didn't read my email. Nobody replied. None of his assistants, but he got my email. So now I get a notification of his show every day. Well, why would I want to watch your show, Steven? I had no intention. I didn't sign up for that. In fact, he gave 2 different emails. I signed up for the one of partnering up and doing work together. You're not interested in me? That's fine. You could just email me and say, thanks for the submission, not interest. They could even have it, I don't know, autopilot, whatever. You know what I mean, like auto send. All right, let me push play. Let me finish this clip because I want to go and see what you guys have to say. I want to know, have you guys watched this? Let me know in the comments, whether it's in the live chat or the live chat replay. Have you seen this clip? And I want to talk about it.
Like sticky kids. But I'm afraid of having children. I'm really afraid of having children and bringing them into that. It's always been something that bothers me. And because of that, something else I'm afraid of the fact that my fear of having children could cause irreparable damage with a wife who I know deserves them. I'm not saying I'm never going to have kids, by the way. I'm just saying it's a fear that I struggle with. And I know a lot of people struggle with these fears. And some of these are actually things that I feel as though I should have expressed a long time ago, because I constantly encounter these at live performances where people say, you know what, I really struggle with this and you help me with it. I'm going, you know what, I should just tell people. I should just tell people that I struggle with that.
And that's really cool. But then again, was he even saying that because he knew like that's a thing nowadays where people talk about how, everybody wants to say, oh, look at me, look at my vulnerability, and it makes it more real and people connect. And so everyone's on that trip where if I cry and I show my vulnerabilities and my weaknesses and everyone's like, but why? Why? It's really not because, oh, look, they're being real, or, oh, I feel bad, or, oh, they're triggering my emotional strings. Nah. there's an old Spanish saying that says, who suffers more? The one naked in the window, and having a peeping Tom or somebody stare at them? Who suffers? The person that finds out that somebody's been watching them while they're naked or getting changed in their room from the outside, or the person looking? And so the saying is implying that the person looking is the one suffering, especially if you're the one undressing or naked and you don't even know you're being watched. But even when you discovered it, you're like, you might feel a little violated, you might feel scared, maybe you might laugh. Who knows? Everybody has a little different reaction, but it's the person that the saying is about. So what I mean by that is that the people that are looking at other people crying and sharing their vulnerability and sharing their suffering, that's a very, very, probably the lowest vibration out there. So when you're following somebody because you're like, oh, look, they're vulnerable. They're confessing all their stuff. Look, it's like Kim Kardashian and that whole bullshit, look, it's all plastic. They're empty people. So you're connecting with them because look at you and pay attention to the fact that why are you eating this up? You shouldn't be wanting that. If you're a good person and you want to do good or you want to be better, successful, happy, because everybody, even a miserable person, at least pretends to say they want to be happy. Okay? When they don't even know they're addicted to misery. Because that's part of it too, in some cases, in a lot of cases. So that's all I'm saying. Like, why are we watching this shit? The only reason I watch it is because, once again, I want the truth. And I'm tired of everybody making these people like this matters. Really? I'm going to go right back to child trafficking, CP. I want to go back to that shit. The border being under attack. Like, that's what freaking matters. And if anything, these people, Candace and Crowder, should get people to stop watching them and see how the cookie crumbles. People should be like, you know what? Don't call yourself a conservative or Christian and act like this. This is not Christian-like. Don't put Christ in the middle of this. Say what you are. I'm an entertainer, and everything I say is for all entertainment purposes. Done. Know what I mean? Put your disclaimer out there. No. So this is another article that I found. But yeah, I want to talk to you guys. So I really enjoyed having Frank on. Oh my God, we're going to go on forever. I could have. He was very great and gracious, and I really appreciate his time. Hope you guys enjoyed that. If you catch this in mid-live, make sure to watch it from the get-go and leave me a comment. Let me know. Plus, I would like to know how many of my audience actually, or our community, knows about him or already watches him or they're already subscribed. I'm curious. So here's the article that says Steven Crowder reveals divorce, which we already know that, right? Accuses Candace Owens of extortion. I mean, I understand, but this guy got separated, which he said in his show, I believe yesterday, since 2021. So he's had time. Shit's been dealt with. Okay? So again, I feel like he's there. These people are so full of themselves and so stupid, immature. Like, deal with your stuff accordingly. Anomaly post, Steven Crowder drops the news on Rumble, right? See how that was yesterday. Basically accuses Owen. Basically, I watched both videos. I mean, whatever. Like, are they behind the scenes telling each other, let's do this? That way we'll get attention? Think about it, man. They've been doing that shit in Hollywood forever, since the 20s. So, yeah, what's the point here? Candace Owens. Steven Crowder accusing me of extortion so patently insane that it honestly makes me... This sounds like, even if just the first sentence is a narcissistic person. I don't think... Well, Crowder could be a narcissist. I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm not here to diagnose him. But what I know is that he is fake. And I know Candace, is also not maybe not as fake, but two-faced and definitely a bitch. I do not find anything good about her. I have seen her so many times. And right now, her response to this, look at this. If you're going to going to use your children as human shields to block people from digging further into your divorce. Please do so without inserting me into the narrative. I mean, that's not too bad, but she has a choice not to respond. She has the choice to just get a lawyer and do her thing quietly behind the scenes. That's what a lady does. And you know what? I'm going to look at your comments, see what you guys have to say, because actually what I really wanted to get into today, but I don't know. I need a break. But I wanted to get into all these comments I've been getting, that I'm still getting, on the To Be a Man video, or even the post that I posted on the community post. And I think I also posted on Twitter the same comment about, let me make this clear, in response to some of the comments. I feel like I want to really put center stage all these comments, because I'm like, God, I'm going to be here all day. Then if anything, I'd rather just go through it here in the live and then, go under all the comments and like, I respond to your comment here in the video. I don't know. I'm just trying to find a way that I can reach everybody and that they don't miss it. Because some of it, it's like, oh my God. Like one of them, it was a perfect question. It's like, how do I find a real woman? And I'm like, I could be here typing all day. But anyway, and I did not prepare a reaction video for today. And I know I've always done a reaction video on Wednesdays, for sure on Wednesdays, but I actually, I don't know if I woke up on the wrong side of the bed. My neck was killing me, and my head hurts. And I don't even know how. Frank must have such great energy that I was able to get through that. And right now, I'm still in a lot of pain. I feel like I would not do the reaction justice today, just so you guys know. In fact, I'm in so much pain right now that if it wasn't for Frank, I would have had to cancel the show today. I would have posted on the community post that I'm sorry, I have to cancel. I'm not feeling well. So, and especially since we do real live, raw, right? Unedited, unscripted live reactions, I'll never cheapen it. I'll never just do it just to get it out there just because I think that's what you want. I know that's not what you want. So let's see. What do you guys have to say? Because again, so everyone's talking all this. Tucker, like, it's not what people are saying. Then there was 2 other videos that I also wanted to get into. One is about MK Ultra, and I don't know if you guys are familiar with, was there Kathy O'Brien is her name? But I was like, if I go there, it would only be on Rumble. But again, I'm in so much pain, guys. I can't. And there was a Ren post too. Check this out. So maybe I can do a live tomorrow. I'll just squeeze one in, outside of schedule. Or I'll save it for Friday, and then we'll just do a real long stream on Friday. I don't know if you can see, but it says, here we go. The following content may contain suicide or self-harm topics. It's like, oh my God, here we go with the bots. But I actually played it, and it's with CNN. It's like basically, accusing this guy of, I can't make it bigger until I share it. Yeah, and then, so anyway, I feel like I'm going to get flagged or whatever. So I will only show that kind of stuff on Rumble. And same with this video. At first, I thought it was the new, James O'Keefe, OMG company that he went off on his own. But of course, you're so used to seeing the Project Veritas that I clicked on it, and then I realized that it wasn't him. But nonetheless, what they captured. So yeah, I'm so, these people are so pathetic. Like, so they're going to continue, right? They really are continuing. They're going to take it. And what's funny is that he was getting plowed because the question of, is this real journalism? Hidden investigative journalism, right? And how it's not right. And he's, like, it's like implying that it's not even legal. But then Project Veritas, they've continued out with him doing exactly the same thing. And I'm going, I wonder if I share this video, will it get taken down? Just like the Pfizer one that I shared from Project Veritas. Like right before, remember that was the one that right after that they got rid of him? So my thing is, I wonder if I would do this and they kept it up. It's again, who's running the show here, guys? They're attacking individuals specifically. Anyway, so that's something I feel more comfortable and I could really be myself over on Rumble with that topic. Just so you know, like but I can't. I don't think I can pull this through. So I want to wrap it up today just talking about the Crowder and the Tucker. What do you guys think? Like I said, here's that one article of going back to Tucker Carlson, blindsided by Fox News firing. That was a direct order from Rupert Murdoch after Jan 6 conspiracy claims. I mean, we knew. I didn't even know how he got away with even doing any of the Jan 6 stuff. And then what happened? They made him stop. He was right, just getting started. So you knew this was coming. Not that he's gotten fired. Again. But of course, they just throw anything out there, right? Sexism, anti-Semitism, all kinds of stuff. Now, and they're going to have to pay him a lot of money to get rid of him if he didn't quit. Either way, I'm firing him. They're under negotiation. And then this girl, I'm like, who's this woman? Oh, God. And it's so pathetic because then here's another article, same Daily Mail, exclusive appetizers plus entree. I mean, who reads this and like, oh, this is news. This is so worthy. This is a must know thing. Looks like Tucker Carlson doesn't give two fucks about his ouster from network. Again, how do they get away with saying this shit? Where's your proof? Oh, God, see, I can't. My head's going to pop off. My neck, I can't even move. Gleefully telling DailyMail.com his future plans while tooling off to a romantic date with wife Susan. What's wrong with that? By the way, I don't recall ever seeing her. When I was looking at these pictures, I like this woman's vibe. I like it a lot. I mean, you know me, I'm all instinctual. I don't have to read. I always follow my instinct first because before anybody puts anything in my head, and then I assess it, go back and forth. You know what I'm saying? Nobody gets into my head. I choose what I believe, and my instinct's always first. And I was like, look at her. I'm like, man, I got to get my work on, because that's not what I look like. And that's pretty awesome. Nice tan, too. But I think she's a cool lady. But again, I haven't had the time to really look into her. Like, who is she? I'm sure she's somebody who's already from affluence. And how about this picture of Tucker? Yeah, for sure. When it was the bow tie days, I was like, first of all, yeah. Well, like I said, I have never really watched television. But obviously, you see people, their names get thrown around here and there. So I know of him. But it was only till recent. And I think in the last couple years, and it was that Full Send, he was on Full Send podcast, and he was talking about that, and I believe it was genuine. I really do. That he was like, back in the day, I didn't know I was lying. Then I knew I was lying. Then I was like, you know what? Not cool. And that's not who I want to be. And then lately, it is such a good feeling to stand up. He doesn't need the money anyway. Okay, I'm sorry. Let's see. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for all your love and support. What you got to say? Let's see. Hey, the Rational Texan. Hello. Tanya Gray. Jesus is perfect and only in caps Jesus. And he's the only in caps one I would expect not to have any faults. Yes. Amen. Absolutely. Boy, man, we could talk about this forever. So sorry that I can't handle it today. But yeah, I would love to get in that conversation, guys, and I'll do one of those call-ins, you know what I mean? I'll put the link down and you guys can call in. Yeah, let's see if maybe tomorrow or on Friday. But then again, Friday's Tom's Friday. He's dropping one, right? Did he come out with the name of it yet? All these personalities are just that, personalities. People who sound good, look good. This is from the Rational Texan. but who are really just broken in some way and have serious weaknesses in their internal selves. Yup. Because honestly, guys, the easiest thing to be in life is fake. The hardest thing is to be real. But you know it. I'm telling you, if you just watch, you take off the rose-colored lenses and you just watch Crowder when he's talking, he does enough facial expressions that you can tell, you know? There's an undercurrent, and you can't blame it all on divorce and separation. That's bullshit. Because he never wanted to be married to begin with. So to me, everything he's done is for the show of I'm a Christian, I'm a conservative. That's the truth. But maybe because he was young and he thought he really was those things. And then like he said, I struggle with the Dr. Jekyll, Mrs. Hyde thing. And I totally respect that. But just don't mention it. Just stop acting like you're conservative. Stop acting like you're a Christian. Just deal with your shit. Stay in your lane. Be funny. Imitate people. Talk about the news. Give your opinion. Nothing wrong with that. So when Candace Owen says, let's pray for him. By the way, she was being such a bitch when it was not real. She was not authentic, genuine at all. Clearly. You gotta know that, right? So she says that, and man, she's butthurt. They deserve each other. But I'm not gonna sit here and watch them hash it out. And I think we shouldn't either. I think if anything, people should be commenting like, you know what? Can you keep your personal shit outside? Like, I don't come to your show for this. You know, remind them of how to do their job and be professional. You know, why don't they give you the option? Hey, do you want to know about my personal life? Come join me on this private link over here, you know, for members only, something like that. Nah, everybody knows that's the lowest, most pathetic thing to do is to air your dirty laundry, especially when you're attacking other people, influencers, you know. Hollywood, hello. How often do you ever hear in Hollywood the real truth of why somebody or couple got divorced or why they ended? Notice they don't really give you any details. You always have to be speculating shit. They all know because nobody wants their dirty laundry out there, so they all shut up about each other because they already know. And I'm sure they have NDAs, and I'm sure they have, you know, prenups and shit that makes them shut up, right? Non-disclosure. Well, I already said that. Oh, man. Hey, Anthony, great to see you. Hi, Liz, the Major. So how you doing? Well, I hope I didn't miss any important comments. But seriously, in a nutshell, what do you really think about this BS between the media and how they're portraying Tucker, literally lying and nonstop, milking it? Man, this is just like another modern version of like Us magazine or Star magazine. And then the Crowder thing, because like I said, I think that, you know, you guys heard about the Dave Landau when he was on, what was it? You Welcome podcast from Michael Malice. And I don't care about that guy either. I think he's very smart and very well spoken. I don't agree with his whole sense of anarchy, but I think it's a great argument. And I would love to talk to him and have him as a guest as well. But I actually think he's a little shit, to be honest with you. I don't think these people are good people just because they write a book and people like reading it. Okay? That's what I'm saying. You are what you eat. You are what you watch. Yes. That's just me giving it to you in a nutshell because I can't handle it today. My head. So yeah, I have a injured neck, and sometimes I don't know the way I sleep, or even depends on how much work I do or how much time I'm on the computer, or just one little, like I said, getting out of the bed on the wrong side will totally mess me up, and it's going to take me weeks to. And it hurts so bad that my head pounds and I can't think. Like I said, I prayed before I went live with Frank. So I give God all the credit. I'm telling you straight up. The major extreme narcissism, period. Not news, period. Narcissism, period. Need I say more? Look at them. Look at all those pictures I just had on the screen of Tucker and his wife. Like, Look at him. Look at him. You know, every angle of him on that cart with his wife, like, disgusting. Disgusting. And I'm not defending Carlton. I'm saying the audience, they should be saying, who cares? Do your job. You know, do your job of real journalism. Stop being a sellout. Start becoming whistleblower and get our shit back to the gas prices and our own gas and living off of our own land, living off of our own products made in the USA. You know, that's the other thing I wanted to get into with Frank, but we just didn't have enough time because with all those questions about Spain and whatnot, I wanted to tell you guys. I don't know if I've said it in lives before. I'm sure I did. But I thought, I'm like, you know, there's a true story on why I am here right now. And it really didn't happen that I thought I would not stay here forever until it was 2007, a specific story. Remind me next time, I'll tell you the story. But that's why it's very important to me that nobody tramples on the Constitution. I have a real personal journey of suffering in this country. And I didn't go through all that shit for nothing. Because it's easy to run away. So, and hence here I am, putting my voice out there instead of just working behind the scenes and making my money. Because I'm going to call them all out. And we need to call everybody out because they don't give a shit about you. They don't give a shit about me. And at least I've spent my life helping people. They can't say that. Crowder's a great talker. I love when he debates like the Change My Mind. I think he's excellent at it. He can keep doing it, and I would watch that content. And I don't care if he's an asshole. As long as he's not pretending to be something he's not. It's very simple. So, but there's enough of them that we could overturn this peacefully and with smarts. But when everybody's pointing the finger, Ted Cruz, all these people, Turning Point, Charlie Kirk, I watch them. They're always doing the same shit. And I think they're just so dumb. Yes, I said it. They're so dumb. Because if you're smart and you're wise, you know that shit doesn't work. So are they in denial? Or are they fooling us and they think they're fooling us? Not as long as I have a voice and as long as you guys are going to support me, I'm going to keep saying it. I'm going to keep emailing people. I've been being ignored. Most of the emails of guest appearances, I don't even get a reply. No thanks, or I'm busy, nothing. They just completely ignore me. I've even been hitting people on their DMs like a follow-up. And that's another full-time job, being the producer of this show. But you know what? That's my purpose. I got nothing else to live for. This is what I'm doing. This is the rock I'm going to die on. Yep. And if you guys know anybody else out there doing it and I just don't know they exist, let me know. I send you a hug. Is that for me, Liz? Or somebody in the chat? So, all right. So, are you guys still, do you watch Steven Crowder? Are you still watching him right now? And are you watching just to find out like the next chapter of the drama? Or, you know, I feel like ever since what he did, all that drama, I mean, it's too clear to like ignore and like really enjoy the content. And you know, this little agreement with Rumble, they're pumping him up there on purpose. And the Dave Landau thing, like, he needs to come clean. Steven Crowder can be saved, and he could save his ass if he comes clean with the whole gay Jay or gay Jared. What was that guy's name that he has an NDA with that he never talks about? He needs to come clean, redeem himself like a real Christian would do. And then he will explode. I mean, and he will be happy and he will be fulfilled. And I think he's struggling with the fact that if people are going to like the fact that he's bisexual. Wouldn't it be great? I would love to have like a live stream interviewing, but more of an interview, like a coaching, almost a coaching session with Steven. You know what I'm saying? Like hash it all out. I would love to help him just tell the truth, man. You'll be happier and you'll be stronger. It's a fact. But it's like when people, man, they're so used to lying or they're just afraid. Afraid of what? Sooner or later, shit catches up to you. I think he's redeemable. Candace? I don't. Nope. No, she's a bitch. I'm telling you, maybe 20 years from now when their kids are older and maybe they fucking teach her a few lessons, maybe. I think she's a Taurus too. They're stubborn. And then I believe Crowder is Cancer. So again, that soft inside, hard outside facade way of protecting himself. I get it. I see it. But he's going to have to, like, almost like somebody in AA, you know, like the 12 steps of sobriety. He's got to say sorry to a lot of people. But he's got it in him. But the typical thing with Cancer is victim mentality. Candace, though, oh, she's going for the juggler. She's the bull. She's going for it. Girl, bring it over here. Because I'm an actual Spaniard. I know all about bullfights. And in fact, I'm from the region where they raise the bulls for bullfights. Castilla, León, Salamanca, Tierra Castilla. Look it up. Oh, man. I'm just waiting, guys. If you guys can help me, please. If you know anybody, shout out for me. Let's get these people on the show or have them have me on their show. I'm never going to attack them. I love everybody. But I'm just going to talk some truth. And I'm always going to do it with, what's my intro? With love and humor. That's my style. Yeah, man, because if today's the last day I have on earth, I'm not going to fucking exit arguing with these people. They're just human like me. You know? You know, they say denial is half the problem. So we get out of denial. We're in the step to the right direction. See, I'm not in denial about the fact that I'm human and imperfect with all my flaws. But loving, that's not my flaw. I am a lover. It takes practice and dedication. And the first thing, you got to love yourself before you can love somebody else. So these people clearly don't love themselves because you don't attack like this when you love yourself. Okay? So, I don't know why people give all these people so much credit. Oh, look at this actor. Oh, look. Oh, my God. Oh, I'd be so afraid to get behind the camera. I'm one of those people. But at the same time, I'm going, fuck. I'm not going to let my fear stop me. I got to do something about it. At the end of the day, they're acting and acting and acting like actors do. And then they can't be themselves. That's the power we have. The people that think, oh, you know, I really couldn't do that. Or, oh my God, how do you do it? You know, it's like when I do my events and I tell my stories and people go, my God, like, God, it must take so much, you know, to be so vulnerable. I'm like, yeah, it's not easy. But somebody's got to do it. Somebody's got to do it. You know what I mean? Oh my God, no, quite frankly. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you. Oh my God. I'm for Olga. Frank, it's the fire, baby. I love it. Thank you. Thank you so much. Oh my God. How cool is that? When you're watching somebody that then becomes a guest, that then, like, remember that? Oh my God, quite frankly. Frank. An independent artist, Tyson James. I was doing a reaction video of one of his videos, and he had just dropped it. I don't know if that was the same day or the day after, and he showed up, surprised me in the live chat, and super chatted me. I'm such a little kid. I'm an old little kid. I don't know how to explain that. You know, old people do kind of act like kids. Maybe that's me now. But you know, if you know anything about Leos, they are kids. I mean, they rule the area of fun, and you know what I'm saying. On the negative, they can be bossy, tyrannical. But that's not me. No. I wouldn't. I kind of. Well, we're not gonna end it. Frank. Verklempt. Wait. Okay, I'm not breaking out, but thank you so much for the super chat. Well, you know what? That's a perfect closing, guys. I love you. When I get a chance, I'll read your super chat. I'll replay the live super chat. If not, feel free. I would love for you to repeat your comment in the comments below here on Rumble. I am live streaming here, YouTube, Rumble, and Twitter now. So I was doing Twitch, but I was like, with Elon really changing the scope and the landscape, let's see. Let me see if I'm gonna, because I don't buy the Elon Musk BS either, right? You know that. They're all liars. But let's see. Because I do believe that he's trying to compete with this platform. So I'm thinking maybe I'm going to jump over there and get ahead. Kind of like when people like Crowder were doing this, I don't know, since 2009. Like I said, I can't believe I discovered all these people during the lockdown. But, yeah, I learned a lot in the last couple of years. Before that, and during 2020, during lockdown, I had a lot of clients, and I was happy to help people during a very tumultuous time. It was great, but then I was like, this is not enough. Because I have to live in this planet. And I feel like just one by one wasn't enough. No. Leadership, real leadership. Ha! Quite frankly, you would know about leadership. I mean, you're all about it. I know you are. Anyway. Thank you, guys. Much love. Many blessings. Do you already know how we're going to end this? Can I hear you? Thank you. Much love. Many blessings. And I'll talk to you soon.